Okay.
Hello, can anyone hear me? Is my
Yes.
voice clear?
Yes. We can hear your voice, Pak Edwin. Can you hear my voice, Pak Edwin? Can you hear
Okay.
my
Can
voice?
can the can the committee help me with the slideshow? I cannot see my slide.
Okay. Okay. We will, Pak Edwin. Team, please share the slide of Pak Edwin, and Pak Edwin will start to present. Please, Pak Edwin, have you seen the slide already shown?
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm really sorry to keep all of you waiting for more than 30 minutes. It's just not acceptable. But technical things happen, and sometimes it goes beyond our control. Just to be honest, currently I'm using my mobile phone. I supposed to use my laptop, but some things happen. Then my laptop cannot access the platform. Although we've been trying this over the weekend, so really sorry again. One more time, really sorry. Um, I honestly I cannot even see my slide for now. I'm just will be relying on the committee to run the slide. So yeah. So again, thank you again for waiting. So today, like what the moderator mentioned, I will share about the um, standing out in the market through customer experience, digital ecosystem, and sociopreneurship.
Yes.
I believe that those topics, those items, are not new for any of you because you've been in this industry, in these games for some times. But I will try if I can if I can refresh your memory and get something out of the presentation. Again, sorry, this is a very backup plan, so it's not really planned. Again, I cannot see my slides. I'm just going through my slides and hope the operator can follow me. All right, if we move on to my first slide, and you will see the situation there. I'm sure that you will be very familiar with the situation, right? Whereby you're working from home while looking
Okay.
after
I
your
think we lost
children.
Pak
That's a new
Edwin
normal.
again.
That's a new normal situation
Okay,
that
let's check.
nobody can avoid at the moment, and all of us needs to get used to that situation. If we move on to the next slide, then my next question is: whenever we are talking about pandemic, do you think that pandemic is actually a positive or a negative situation? I've done a small survey, and 80% of my audience, of my respondents, were saying that this is negative. Nobody will see this as a positive thing. But is it true? One of the interesting finding there, a report by IDC, saying that some industries will still gain some opportunities, despite that most of the industries will have some downturn this year. Um, so whether you are in a good industry, whether you are not in the good industry, whether you agree with whatever being said by the report, maybe you're saying that, oh no, not the health industry is going well because people are no longer going to the hospital. They prefer to stay at home rather than checking their health whenever they've got a small kind of sickness. But retail is going well. If you see that the e-commerce, the e-marketplace, they are sending thousands or even maybe millions of packages every day. Now, whether you are in a good or bad industry, then I will take you through how we can try to make use of the situation and make ourselves, our industry, our company stands out in the competition. So next slide is about me. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer, Chief Operating Officer of Mandiri AXA General Insurance, a JV between AXA and Bank Mandiri. You can read there about me. Then my slogan is I'm in pursuance of a greater purpose, meaning that I've been doing a lot of things throughout my professional career, and I'm trying to do something more. That's why I will take you through the sociopreneurship topic this afternoon, this morning. Okay, now I'm going a little bit to the general insurance industry. What are our challenges in the GI industry? We are in a very competitive market. 1.2% of GDP. Life insurance is even better. General insurance is much worse. And we've got 84 players in the industry. So we are just one out of so many. Then this year, we will have to say that we lost most of our travel insurance business. 80% of the business will be gone. While AXA was very famous for travel insurance, but we are losing our business in that area. And declining lifestyle insurance as well. Motor vehicle, other lifestyle is declining because people are no longer traveling, people are staying at home. And with the situation, we face more restrictions from our group underwriting. We cannot go to this industry, that industry, catastrophic, and a lot of things that being restricted. So that really limits how we can operate. The next slide, I'm not going to talk more about general insurance. I'm going to talk more about the general things in the industry to be more relevant to yourselves. So then the question is, how can we stand out in the competition throughout this pandemic, throughout this situation? And I'm going to say that we are relying on customer experience to be stand out. How come? How can you can be one of its kind during this situation by introducing a extraordinary customer experience, if I can say? Then move on to the next slide. What is customer experience? Customer experience itself is essentially, this is my own word, is essentially the overall feel of a customer throughout their end-to-end interaction with your services. So you cannot say customer experience is when they come and purchase your products. You cannot say customer experience is when they do the service, when they enjoying claim, when they have problems, when they come to your customer service. No, customer experience is essentially the entire throughout a journey of the end-to-end, start from purchase, servicing, until the day they return, they buy more, they refer to their friends and colleagues. So that's the customer experience that we need to be aware of. Taking example again in insurance industry, then the customer experience, there are two main, we call it moment of truth. The first one is when a customer comes to purchase, and the second one is when a customer comes for a claim. Because you buy an insurance but you cannot claim, then that's useless. Why bother you buy insurance? So that those are the two examples in insurance industry. Then you can relate in your own companies. What are the most significant interaction point, touch point with your customers that you really need to focus on and improve on. So moving to the next slide, how to create a best customer experience. I'm trying to draw this in a very simple 3 circles. First, in the top one, you need to understand whom are your customers. Then you need to do a real customer segmentation, understanding your customers. I will walk you through in the next slides. But first, you really need to understand whom are your customers. Then the other point is that you need to create a customer journey, a very enjoyable, remarkable customer journey from end to end. We'll have a look shortly. And lastly, then you need to understand what is your customer proposition, your customer value proposition. Why are they coming to your company? Why are they buying your product and services? What do they expect? I think by understanding those 3 items and designing them in a way that the customers really delighted, then that can enjoy, that can help you to be ahead of the competition, and thanks to the customer experience. Next slide, customer segmentation. Then how do you define your customer? You will have the age, demography, you will have the say marital status, whether they have family or not, or whether they are in a mature position of their career, of their just starting their career, and so on, right? You need to really understand about your customer. Either it's your existing customer and also the customer that you are targeting into. So you need to understand, again, your existing customer, how you treat them, how you give them the best service. And next one is you also need to understand whom are the market that you're entering into, whom are the customers that you're targeting. That's why when we talk about customer segmentation, then data play a very important part, a very important role. You know that data is very important nowadays, that everybody is saying that. But then in an industry like insurance, like financial industry, then you know that data is something that you cannot separate from your business strategy. because when you want to craft your strategy well, then you have to really understand your customers. And when I talk about data here, you need to look at market data and also your internal data. So you need to be diligent enough to do market study. What is the current behavior of your market? What are being expected by your market? What are the current trend? For example, in a marketing, when you see that your customers are now on TikTok, then you cannot keep on advertising your product, your services in Facebook, for example. Then you need to move on to TikTok because you're targeting a younger generations that maybe start leaving Facebook and doing more on TikTok and the other more advanced, more updated platform, we can say. On the other hand, if you're talking more, if you're targeting more on a mature customers, a senior professionals, for example, then don't target them on TikTok. You get nothing out of TikTok. Then you need to look at Facebook. You need to look at how you maximize WhatsApp in order to reach them. You need to look at how you really go to a certain stage of Instagram in order to find your target audience, your right target audience. And the same importantly, you need to look at your internal data. You need to really analyze your data. What is your main customer profile there? And simply use that data in order, one, to offer a better service. So if you know that your customers is mostly, a mature audience, then the service that they need maybe call, maybe face-to-face, maybe they want you to come and say hello to them. But if you're talking more on a younger generations, on your internet customers, then what you need to do is just say hi through WhatsApp, say hi through Line, for example. That will be more relevant to them. And number two, you use your internal data in order to replicate this and targeting your target audience outside of your customers. That's what we keep on doing. We're trying to do profiling of our customer data and use this as a good example on how we can replicate our campaigns, our service to the audience outside of the company. So that's I hope that gives you some insights how we use data. We can talk hours about data, how we do business intelligence, and so on. But today I'm going to briefly talk about how we use the data in order to understand our customer. So we move on to the next slide. Okay, I think next slide is customer journey. But actually, in our company, we are doing the customer targeting using three-dimensional mapping. So traditional company will do two-dimensional. I'm starting to use three-dimensional. The first dimension, the first axis is a customer life stage. I'm not going to say customer age. I think, whenever someone gets married and have family, if you compare with someone that is single, then it's totally different needs, although they are maybe belonging to the same age range. So I prefer to use customer life stage as one of our important data factor. Then the next one, the next axis would be the income level. You have to understand the income level of your customer, because that will represent how they spend their money, what is the most important for them at the moment. Say if your customers at the income level below 10 million, then you will not be able to offer them an insurance for, say, their home contents, because the most important for them probably at that time is their health, but not their home content. But if you go a little bit higher segment, then they have like collectible items in their home, then home content will make sense to them. Then the third dimension that I'm using is the location, whether the customers is residing in a big cities, in a metropolitan, or whether they are going more urban, more rural. So that really matters in terms of what kind of service that relevant the most for them. Then after that, we're using our heat map. We're trying to focus on the most potential customers. Apart from those three dimensions, when we cross them out, I cannot show the slides. I have the slides, but because it's being operated by the committee, then I cannot show that. you will see a red, green, and amber indication of which customer segment that we are going to target. So move on, customer journey. When we talk about customer journey, then you need to really understand your customer from one step to another. I'm trying to just give a picture of a general generic customer journey, starting from awareness. Customer comes to you because they heard about you, because they know that you exist, because they know your brand. For us, it's very fortunate. We've got two big brands supporting us. We've got AXA as a global insurance. We've got Bank Mandiri as a biggest state-owned bank in Indonesia. So those two brands are complementing to us and gives us the best opportunity to be known in the market. But it doesn't stop there. Then after the customers knows about you, then they need to know that you are offering them the relevant service and the best service that they can enjoy. That we move on to the consideration stage. Then you need to be positioned yourself as a positively influencing the customers, that they're impressed with your brand, but it's not enough. They need to have some reference of your previous customers, testimonials, of your partners, that you are offering the best service, you're offering the service relevant to them, and most importantly also offering the service at the price that they expected. That's why if you see the e-commerce, they are very keen on having 5 stars. All the ride-hailing applications, 5 stars is very important, because nowadays a customer choose a company not by advertising that you give, because they will see advertising is something you create. Then you can say every positive things about your company. But the stars speak by itself. Stars are given by the real customers. Stars are given by the real people that enjoyed the service and really give the real value to them. So be careful on this. 10 years ago, maybe you can give the best advertising and people will get impressed. But nowadays, it doesn't work that way. It works based on testimonial, and you cannot get rid of them. So whenever possible, try to create some testimonials. Try to get testimonials from a satisfactory customers that are satisfied with your services, and let them speak by themselves. Okay, then move on to the conversion. This is the most important, right? When people know you, when people are impressed about you, but no transactions, then that translates to nothing. Then conversion is something that you really need to be very clear on. Whenever you put something on your website, on your digital asset, or anywhere, you need to have a clear call to action. So if you notice why there is Harbolnas campaign and everything, because the companies are trying to give a limited time when customer can enjoy the benefit, and that will trigger a call to action. That will create some impulse in the customer, so that they click to action. If you just say, okay, we'll discount our service the whole year, then people will say, okay, wait, I will buy your service towards the end of the year. But if you say that we give you discount only for 3 days, then the customer will rush and purchase your services. The journey doesn't stop there. After sales services is another very important thing, right? That relates back to the testimonial that speaks about your service. And this is something that you cannot really falsify. You cannot lie about that, because that will speak to your potential customers. And the after sales service will also help your customers to return to your company and purchase another. If we want to learn about after sales services, then you need to learn from the best 5-star hotels, that they will offer everything that the customer demand. Something that all of the industry, I think, need to benchmark against. And lastly, renewal and retention. How easy the customer to renew or to buy more or to come back and purchase more. That really also important, because all the old saying will say that getting new customer is much more expensive rather than retaining and renewing your existing customers. right? So those are the entire customer journey. Hope you can reflect on that and start thinking which point that you need to improve in your own company, in your industry, and what is the best way to improve that. Okay, next, out of the three circles, if you remember, the customer value proposition. This is another lesson that will take like one full day to learn about this. But in short, the customer value proposition is the reason why the customer will spend their money and come to buy your sales and services. Okay, so there are two factors there. If you see gains and pains, so customers will always need something as a benefit. That's what is called gains, and how your company can offer gains, can solve their needs for additional benefits. For example, if a customer comes to buy a sport car, what are the gains? They want to be recognized as a rich person. They want to be recognized as a different than anyone else, young or fresh or cool. Those kind of senses that they need to be satisfied. And when you sell a sports car, then you need to market, to position your product as this is the coolest thing in the world. Then when you come to see this, to buy this, then everybody will look at you. Everybody will stare at you. This is the gains that you need to create and the value that you need to create whenever you sell that kind of sports car, for example. Right? And pains. In most of the time, customer will come to buy your product because they have pains, because they have needs, because they have something that they need solution. When you have a healthcare clinic, for example, customer will come because they are sick. If they are healthy, if they are all well, then why do they come? Then you need to really introduce why your medical clinic can give you the pain relievers. Because when you come, then you will see a good doctor that can give a right diagnosis at the right price, at the right medication, then it solves the problem. Okay, so again, those two things, what kind of position that you want to put to your customers as a gains, and what kind of solutions you can offer to your customers as a pain relievers. And that too will translate to your product and services, how you can motivate, encourage your customers to come and really make the purchase. Now, if you think a customer is a king, is that true or not? I will say it's true. Customer is a king. But if customer is a king, then what are we? Are we just ordinary people? I will position that no, we are not ordinary people. Customer is a king, yes, but we are the prime minister. You know, king is always listens to the prime minister, to the advocate, and let the prime minister run the country for them, while the king is enjoying being sitting at their throne. So that's what we have to do with the customers. They are the king, we are their prime ministers, and we direct them to the best service, the best solution that we can offer. Then that's how the transaction works. So okay, I think this was okay. So we come to back to the three circles: the customer segmentation, customer journey, customer value proposition. Now we talked about it, and so there are two things how you can really win the market: understanding your customer segmentation, understanding designing your customer journey, understanding your customer proposition is not really enough. It's not sufficient. Because then you really need to innovate. You know, to win the market, you cannot stay doing the same as you did 10 years ago. I've been working for one company, very good in telemarketing. Then the company really is a market leader 5 years ago. But now when telemarketing starting to be more and more saturated, like people are being called many times, then maybe they need to find a better way in order to get a better interaction with the customer, better engagement, so to make the telemarketing powerful again. So that's one example. Innovation, keep on innovating, keep on understanding what's happening in the market, what is now being the trend in the market, and keep on trying to catch that market. It's not easy. It takes a lot of diligence, takes a lot of effort, but that's how it should go. Then the omni-channel experience, whereby you will have your service being offered through many assets, through many channels. You will have your website, you will have your app, mobile app, you will have your store, physical store, you will have your customer service over the call, over WhatsApp, over a live chat, anything. But the most important is really that the customer needs to have an omni-channel experience whereby they really feel that across any channels, across different way of interactions with your company, the experience remains consistent, remains the same. That whenever they call your customer service, they will get the same answer, the same level of service, than when they interact with them through WhatsApp, for example. And again, when we say omni-channel experience, then the more channels that you have for the customers to interact with you, then the better it is, because then they can reach you easier through different platforms. Then to be surviving in the current competition, current landscape, then I think social media, you need to have social media, of course. Everybody will agree with that. You need to have your website. Mobile app, I'm still thinking whether it's yes or no, depending on what kind of service you're offering. If you're a bank, of course, you need to have a mobile app because people interact with you every day. They want to check your balance. They want to check their value of their investment. But if you are, say, I don't know, if you are even in an insurance, mobile app is important when customer is trying to submit a claim, right? But do they interact with your mobile app every day if you're an insurance company? Not quite. So it's still debatable whether you need to have a mobile app or not. So don't get influenced by everyone that is saying that, oh, why do you have only website? Let's go to mobile app. Depends. It could be important, it could be not. You are the one who knows the best about your industry. Nowadays, what I'm thinking, people in Indonesia, they like chatting more. Chat, and chat. So we just recently launched our enterprise WhatsApp solution. So people can interact with us through WhatsApp and in a business way. That really gives more comfort to our customers. That's what I can say. Oh, so if we go back to the slide before, there is a very interesting illustration about how customers interact with you, right? So here in the picture, there is a customer try to place an order your website and still hasn't been shipped. So they interact with your customer service over chat and try to get some answers, but the answer that you see yourself. It's a problem with our procurement team, technical team, fulfillment team, inventory team, and I'm only in charge of customer service. How often you are the customer and you get that kind of experience, and how do you feel? But when you are becoming a company, most of the time you will not realize that you do the same. Your customer service saying that, oh, sorry, I cannot help, or okay, I'll transfer you to this part, that part, until half an hour and there is no answer. So what I'm trying to say with this illustration, just to make sure that the frontliners of your company, either is a customer service, either is your sales, either is your business development, they need to understand the entire process that is happening within the company, and they can give solution at the first place. So in our company, we use first call resolution as one of the KPI of the customer service team. They cannot just say, okay, I pass through your message and we'll come back in a week time. So most of the time, if they can solve your problem within the first call, and that's the KPI they need to achieve. So train your customer service, train your frontliners well, so that they know exactly what is the process. And if they cannot answer right away, but they can check and come back to the customers, not passing through to the other department or the other function to come back to the customers. That's just not acceptable for the customer. All right, if we move on to slides about innovation. So I talk a bit about innovation, right? What I learned throughout my career, there are two types of innovation. There is innovation with capital I, and there is innovation with small I. What does it mean? Innovation with capital I is when you introduce something new something new in the market, first in the market. Say when you launch a holiday to the moon, where people still holiday to other countries, then you introduce holiday to the moon, and it has been introduced before. So it's something really new in the market. That's innovation with capital I. Is that important? Yes. Is it always doable at any circumstances? No. Because most of the time, what customers need is not traveling to the moon. What customers need is they want to travel just across the city from Jakarta to Bandung, but they want the experience to be very comfortable. That's what most of the company will not be aware of. They thought that when they talk about innovation, they really need to introduce something new, bringing the customers to the moon. But that's not the expectation from the customer. The customer will expect maybe just small innovation from the company that really helps them throughout the journey and makes comfortable. And innovation with small I is more internal innovation, whereby you review the process, you look at the process, and you customize the process. You remove all the waste, all the value stream mapping that we need to do, looking at where are the waste, remove all the waste, and to make the journey smooth for customers. Claim process in our insurance is very important. If you can reduce from, say, 14 days to 10 days, that already makes a differentiation in the market. Then people will start talking about you, right? So customer-facing, internal process, those are the two areas that you need to really careful about in doing innovation. I leave the video for later. So the video is actually talking about the innovations that I'm really I've been seeing this video for many times, the dancing traffic light, but I'm still impressed with the philosophy behind. I will leave this for the late start for the last slide of the presentation, and also what we do in AXA as one of our innovation. I will continue with sharing first, then I'll come back to the video. Omnichannel experience, I've talked about this. We'll skip into the digital ecosystem. This is interesting. So, doing all the CX, the customer experience that I've talked about, maybe not enough for now. Why? Because nowadays, your customers want your service to be available anytime and anywhere. Then you cannot do that without partnership, without engaging other industries in order to put your services within them. So it's very important, and I'm sure that all of you will agree that nowadays we need to create a digital ecosystem. Say insurance, we cannot stand by ourselves. We need to work with multi-finance. We need to work with e-commerce. We need to work with whatever you can mention, all travel industries and everything, and create an ecosystem whereby a customer can purchase your product, your service, enjoy your services from the platform of other companies. For example, if you go to any e-commerce, then when you buy a product, then without realizing there is a tick mark saying that shipment insurance. It's very, very cheap. Sometimes it goes less than 100 rupiah, and people just ignore it and just say yes. But that is what is called ecosystem, right? They can find your service very cheap, very affordable within another platform. Then that will create eventually a significant amount when they pile up together. How do you create the ecosystem? You need to have a platform ready. API. Everybody now may be familiar with API, application platform integration, whereby you are connecting your own system with the system of your partner directly, and that creates a real-time experience of the customer. Coming back to the example of buying a product through e-commerce, then the insurance, if you tick yes, then you will not wait 3 hours before the policy is sent to you. Once you finish the transactions, real time, you will get the policy. That's through API integration. And you need to be ready. So infrastructure, technology, you need to be ready to deliver that kind of integration platform with your customer. And I assume this is the next level of service differentiation, because this can be fit in with any life stage of your customer. Okay, then the next slide, I'm just picturing the SME ecosystem, whereby you imagine one SME UMKM in Indonesia, a small company, a home industry, then what they need? They need supply chain, they need marketplace to sell their products, they need banking for the loans, they need investor, but also they need insurance, for example. So if you're part of the ecosystem, then it will create like a circle of everything that your customer needs, and you're part of it. Will it sound significant? Not at the beginning. We will always start small, but after sometimes you will start seeing, okay, then that is how it works. You will start seeing a stream of revenue coming into you. Next slide is about the what do you need to prepare for the ecosystem. I talked briefly about API integration, but it doesn't stop there. You also need to cater for your internal process automation, because like sometimes people are more, we're keen to be more looking at what is at the front end of our system and forget about the level of service we need to introduce to our internal process. If we want to build an ecosystem, then we need to automate most of our internal process so that the customer will feel everything is going smooth and real time. Then to do that, you also need to change the mindset of your people. Your people needs to change, not from a traditional way of thinking, doing things manually, still doing the dinosaur thing, and moving to a more adoption of the technology, how they can think creatively, how they can think every day, what I can do better to improve my speed of work, right? Then you need to go for training, you need to go take your people for motivation session, whatever you need, but you need to change the mindset first and build up the capability for them to be adjusted to the way of the new system works. And lastly, you need to do campaign and marketing. You can build everything, but if you don't campaign that well, if nobody knows that you have the service, then that's it. Then people will not come to you. Okay, my last section of this presentation is about the sociopreneurship, right? You know that during the pandemic, that most of the big companies, they are racing to do CSR, corporate social responsibility. They are donating here and there, but that will end up spending your money. Although they get some branding, some marketing value, some respect from the customers, respect from the government, from the partners. That's true, but end up it's just spending some fun, spending some budget. How we can change that activity from spending into revenue. That's what I call sociopreneurship. So sociopreneurship is when you do a social activity, but at the end, that turns into a business opportunity for you. For example, I will give the example in the next slide. So what's the benefit? The benefit is you're giving the branding. You are having some acknowledgement from the market, from your customers, but at the end of the day, the revenue flows into you. Next slide is what AXA is doing in terms of the sociopreneurship. We just launched this year our AXA Climate Protection. It's a parametric insurance, meaning that we are protecting the farmers as if whenever there is heavy rainfall and the rainfall is above the normal one, then we will directly reimburse the claim to them without they need to submit claims. So that's the beauty of the parametric insurance. And we introduced them the parametric solution to the farmers in rural areas, in Mid-Java, in East Java, so that we are protecting the farmers, and that being acknowledged by the government. But at the same time, it is a source of revenue because it's not free. It comes as a revenue for us, but the intention is doing some social work, is giving back to the community, but then you will still get some revenue out of it. This is something that I'm still working on. The know you can be a hero for Indonesian education. So I'm now still working on with some NGO in order to have, if AXA can be part of the donation ecosystem, you know, the ecosystem that I depicted before, then say AXA can sponsor some of the activity, but whenever a customer comes, a donator comes for a donation, maybe certain percentage of the donation is converted or given away to the people in the form of insurance, not directly in the form of money or school facility, but insurance to protect what? To protect the children, the students, to protect the families, to protect the school buildings, but it's still giving back to the community. That's something that I'm still exploring and in conversation with some of the potential partners. Okay, so this is my last slide. AXA Mandiri AXA General Insurance, we are open to partnerships. We are open to build ecosystem. We are open to build social entrepreneurship together with the partners. So if any of you are from that kind of industries and would like to collaborate with us, Mandiri AXA General Insurance, I'm very welcome. You can reach me at my email address, edwin.sugianto@axamandiri.co.id. As promised, if we still have time, Combative, you can play the 2 videos that I prepared. It just takes 1 minute each. Okay. On slide 15 and 16. If you can play that, please. Do you think we still have time for the videos?
Yes, of course, Pak Edwin.
Okay, so video is going to be played very soon. Then I'm open for questions.
Okay.
Some people are born to live their lives. I'm born to dance. Want me to work like a dog in a full-time job? Haha, I'm born to dance. Don't wear no coat, no tie, no shirt, and even no pants. I'm born to dance. You shaking your head? Well, I'll be shaking my ass, cause I'm born to dance. I wanna shake it and shake it and shake it, shake it and shake it, girl. Do you wanna shake it? I wanna shake it and shake it and shake it, shake it and shake it, yo. Watch me dance now.
Smart.
Okay, last video is about the whatever AXA did for innovation. It's called AXA Experience Zone. We still have 1 minute to play that.
Okay.
Indonesia is a land of 260 million people with prolific usage of mobile, internet, and social media. Indonesia's population is young with over 70% of the population from the aspiring emerging class, most of whom have never purchased insurance before. AXA is the #2 brand and market share in Indonesia. Our partnership for over 15 years with Bank Mandiri has helped us to achieve this success. The landscape is changing rapidly. Consumers no longer want products and services. They seek experiences and customization, along with value for money. At AXA Indonesia, we understand this trend and we are on the path to transform the way we educate people on insurance. We will leverage the Liverpool FC partnership in this soccer-crazy country where nonton bareng is a deep cultural habit. And our first step towards this noble purpose is to launch a unique AXA experience zone that will create a transformational experience for customers using immersive technology, allowing customers to understand their risks and outcomes on health, travel, education, savings, motor, home, etc. in a fun and engaging manner. A first-of-its-kind zone in Indonesia and potentially in Asia, the AXA Experience Zone will expect a traffic of over 30,000 visitors over 1 year. And these users will share their exciting experiences over social media, reaching the message to millions of Indonesians. Eventually, we will scale the technology so that these experiences are shared by our agents and advisors, so we can be closer to our prospects and customers. At AXA Indonesia, we want the brand to be seen, touched, and felt by all Indonesians so they can be assured that they are in safe hands with AXA. That's when we start to become their true partner, whatever their income, life stage, or lifestyle.
Okay, thank you very much, and sorry again for being late. 30 minutes of waiting is not acceptable, I understand, but technical things happen. Apology,
Yes,
a big
yes.
apology.
Yes, that's okay, Pak Edwin. Thank you very much, Pak Edwin, for the sharing and also for the many learning insight. I believe, me, myself, and all the audience, I think, get the points about how you explain from your title by doing the CX and then the digital ecosystem and then the sociopreneurship to do the innovation. Okay, can you hear my voice, Pak Edwin, right now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I have a question for you, Pak Edwin. So very interesting for all of us that you explained about the 3 circles about CX, about customer experience, that you explain CX is the end-to-end feel about our customer when they interacted with our services, right? So the customer expectation, and then the customer journey, and then the third one is customer value proposition. So if I can ask question, how we can do that kind of, I don't know what you call it, mapping or identification about those 3 cycles, is that must be at a certain level if we want to go or we willing to have some innovation in our corporation? I mean, is that must be a very huge initiative that we have to prepare a lot of budget to do those 3 things, Pak Edwin, or it can be implemented at any level, Pak? Would you please to explain that, Pak Edwin?
Okay, thank you, Mas Taufik. Interesting question. So I'm thinking again that innovation should be instilled in the people mind. So first, changing the mindset of the people. If everyone in the company thinks innovatively, thinks customer-centric, then something that we can obviously do. But after we manage to change the mindset of the people, then the next thing is really how we can utilize data. This is the importance of having data, how we can collect and process the data so that we can really identify the customer segmentations, the journey, and the value propositions that they need. Number 3, this is very important. It doesn't stop there. You need to go out to your customer, talk to the customers, and really empathize with them what they need, and then take that as your takeaway before you create something innovative. So I think this is that most of the companies will miss, because they will think inside the company and think that is what the customer needs, but actually no. Actually, maybe the customer needs something else, right? So again, change your people mindset. work out with data. And number three, go out, talk to your customers, understand them, and take that as an insight whenever you want to do some innovations or even identifying your customer-centric process.
Okay, I got the point, Pak Edwin. So it means that those three circles not always must be at the very high level of corporation initiative, right? So any function in our organization, in our corporation, if we try to make our people more innovative, we can ask them to take that ways of thing, that ways
Correct.
of working. Who's your customer? Knowing who their customer is, that fundamental things that we about mindset, yeah, Pak Edwin, yeah. Everyone.
Correct. Because
yes,
at the end, our people on the ground are the ones who are facing the customers, right? They know better about the customers than the management. Management can guess, but they are the one who speak with the customers. They interact with the customers. So people on the ground are really the people that we really need to engage in order to get the best customer centricity.
Okay, thank you, Pak. I checked the chat column in the stage, Pak. There are some questions, Pak. Okay, I think I have to choose. We still have time, right, Mbak Tika? Okay. Please give me insight about how do AXA change the mindset of the employees internally? What kind of habit that needs to be implemented to change the mindset? I think it's related with your previous answer, Pak.
Yeah. Very fortunately, in AXA, employees are really valued. That's why we won the HR best company to work for in Asia this year. And really, how we change the mindset of the people. First, we do some innovation challenges. So we run like innovation campaigns, challenges, whereby people comes with ideas and we appreciate the idea. We reward the idea. That's number one. And number two, I think what's being done within the management is the management really talks to not only one level below the management, but really talks to the ground level and really try to understand what kind of difficulties and challenges they face. And with that kind of openness, then management can understand the difficulty of the people and really try to think together how to overcome the situation and empower the people to think creatively and propose to the management. So that's how it runs. The openness, the transparency between management and the employees, and try to solve the problem together. And most of the time, the idea comes from the bottom. So it's a bottom-up approach.
Okay. Yes, get the point, Pak. I think we all got the learning insight, many insights from your sharing, Pak Edwin, about I previously I curious about your explanation regarding to your title, Pak. CX and then digital ecosystem and sociopreneur. With your explanation, I get the point that okay, we sometimes we need to little bit shift our angle, Pak Edwin, yeah, to find or for us to able to innovate in our situation. You know, this is a very new normal for all of us, for all industry. I think what you shared, Pak Edwin, is very valuable for all of us for to do innovate in our each of us industry on our scope or context, Pak Edwin. I think thank you very much for the session, Pak Edwin. Sorry for the technical problems in the earlier time before we start the session, Pak Edwin, and hopefully,
no worries.
Hopefully our collaboration, Pak, is wouldn't stop here, Pak Edwin. We believe we can discuss more and do very many things to create value, to innovate, to create value for a society, for the environment. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mas Taufik. And for everyone, hope the sharing is helpful, is useful. Yes. Then feel free to reach me at my email whenever you want to collaborate or have any question. Thank you very much.
Please don't leave the backstage yet. Just switch off the video and mic. We still need do some maybe communication in the backstage.
For sure. Okay.